and welcome to the Happy Way podcast. This is Aoife D.
And the studio has gone to your head.
The studio, we are in a studio in Republic of Work.
I didn't know you were a radio presenter.
You
slip into it, don't you?
This is very conducive to it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been working for Today FM my
for
whole life
24
now.
years.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm in their seat, we're in their room. And on my left is Kilkenny's brightest, Kilkenny's finest.
Brian Cody.
Trisha Norton. Woo! Urlingford Show's third place Irish dancer 1996.
No, Aoife, I picked my medal out of a USA biscuit tin.
Did you?
I did.
You
That's
all
a
got
fact.
one.
Yeah, we all got one. We got to pick our one out of a collective USA biscuit tin.
Oh, so it didn't matter if you were any good or not.
Yeah, I wasn't any good, but I still got a medal.
Oh.
Yeah.
No one told me that you're not meant to copy the other person on stage. I remember I was dancing at Cora's show and there was this like perfect creature dancing and I just tried to copy what she was doing rather than doing my own dance.
Yeah.
But it had its pros because Mam forced all the rest of them to dance and do music, but I did such a terrible attempt that day.
No one was asked ever again.
I never had to do it.
You ruined
anymore.
the fun for the rest of them.
Yeah. But anyway, that's off topic. Trisha, thank you for joining me again.
Thank you for having me, Aoife.
You're
Thank
so
you.
wise and you're so brilliant. And we did a great meditation today here in Republic of
did.
Work. Oh, there's a big sign saying here, every time the studio is used, please introduce it as from our Cork studio at Republic of Work. So yeah, that's where we are. But if you're listening, thanks so much for joining us. We hope today's episode is going to be helpful to you. The general theme today is kind of protecting ourselves, eating well, managing our busy week well, so we don't come out of it kind of broken, I would say. Because when it comes to overeating and binge eating, that would be kind of a theme. I'm sure if you have binge eating disorder or issues with overeating, you would maybe agree with me or have had similar experiences, that it's kind of when we're absolutely burnt out with no kind of, no creativity left to have a nice evening apart from to just buy loads of stuff or cook loads of stuff or eat loads of stuff. And that's our kind of solution or way of taking care of ourselves. And it's
the feeling of emptiness.
It's not enough. Yeah.
It's the emptiness. And then like maybe our brain is at such max capacity that we're like, emptiness, how do I feel fullness, you know?
Yeah. And that's
we're doing our best at the lowest capacity, you know? And like I was having a really shitty day last week.
Yeah.
And I did go for
Trisha,
food.
You're meant to be perfect. That's why you're on the podcast. I thought you were going to be like helpful to people and stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, surprise. Deep suffering led me down this route. So deep failings and fucking everything up over and over again and continually so, because we're human. So anyway, so I was having a really bad day last week, but what I did was I actually went in and I was like, what do I really want? Like, what would give me like maximum satisfaction? And do you know what it was?
What?
It was a meal that my friend made for me. We went away to my friend bought a holiday home in Kilkee. Shout out to Maria, thanks for that. Our holiday home now. And Ciara, my other friend, made us breakfast one morning, and it was like roasted butternut squash with like chorizo, halloumi, poached egg, and her secret sauce. I won't give away all the ingredients because Ciara may kill me, but it was like a sour cream.
It was like
dill.
ketchup.
It was sour cream and dill and like garlic, and it was delicious. And I mean, all I wanted that day when I was feeling really low and alone, I was like, I just want that dinner. But like, it meant so much more because I think I shared it with friends, right?
Yeah.
And it was super,
you wanted the whole thing.
Yeah. And it was super nourishing. And yes, I did eat, but I ate well and like with love, like, you know, and with like that memory too, you know. So like I think we can do that. We can nourish ourselves like from the right space.
Well, see, this is it because I think there's nothing wrong with comfort eating.
Yeah.
Comfort eating is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's discomfort eating.
Yeah.
You know, because I think where comfort eating errs into discomfort eating is kind of like, you know, like as in something yummy that will be part of your rewards for the day or the evening. Like it's part. But I think where it turns into like abuse is when you are relying on just food to do everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just kind of think, and just I know this from working with clients as well, that it tends to be part of the solution, not the entire solution.
Yeah.
So we come home stressed from work, and beautiful food is certainly part of the solution.
Yeah.
But if you do nothing else for yourself but just eat junk, well, then that's kind of more neglect, because it's kind of like, okay, well, now food hasn't done its job, because food's job is to make you feel more good. And it's like, if you've kind of gone overboard, well, then, okay, now we haven't even got that either. So it's kind of like food has left us feeling worse, and then we didn't have any other rewards in place. So I think it's kind of like, if we could be like, right, okay, I'm gonna really need to fill myself up this afternoon or this evening, because today drained me, like it drained me. So as in, how could this be a beautiful evening? Like, what would I need? What are all the aspects I would need? And I honestly think as well, half the time it's just asking yourself that question.
I know, but you never think of it when you're in that place, though.
This is it.
Because you're like, everything's shit. I don't want to have to do anything.
I know.
My thing always, though, is a nice warm bed.
Yeah.
Is very comforting for me. That's like a big thing. If I'm like, I'm going to get in now, I'm going to turn on my electric blanket or a hot water bottle, snuggle up and have a nap.
Yeah.
90% of the issues go away after a nap.
I think anything kind of water washing based as well.
Yes.
Like shower,
Showers.
bath,
Suggestion,
swim.
Aoife.
Yeah.
Suggestion box. Swim. Sea swim.
But like, it's just annoying, because I think Weight Watchers or someone must overuse them, because, you know, I just know from joking with clients and stuff, it's the whole like phone a friend or get in a bath, and you're like, you know, that can't solve all your problems either. But like I say, I think half of it is just being sound enough to yourself to say, Trisha, today was tough. It doesn't really matter whether other people would find it tough, because I think that's that Irish thing. Maybe it's an Irish thing, maybe it's an everyone thing, that we're like, come on, it was just a normal day's work. What's wrong with you? And you had yesterday off. Sure, cop on, you know, and we'll talk to ourselves like that. But it's like, it doesn't matter whether other people would find it harder or easy or would do more than you. It's like, that's beside the point. The point is minding yourself. So if something drained you, it's kind of like, okay, what do you need? Like,
and it's like you can't eat one, you know, obviously using the food analogy, but you can't eat one food all the time and expect to be nourished.
Yeah.
In the same way that doing the same activity again and again is going to leave other places not nourished within you, you know. So like last night I had a really busy day yesterday, and I was so tired last night, and there was a yoga class on late, and I was like, usually this yoga class would solve all of my problems. But at the time that the yoga class was starting, I was getting into bed. I was like, it's an 8:30 bedtime now. That's actually what needs to happen. Yeah. And like the week before it was the yoga class. The night before it was, you know, a sauna and a swim. You know, and it's different, and it's that attunement to what you have the capacity for, like, or what you need as nourishment, you know?
And see, that's the thing, because I think everything, every action, every food, you can be doing it from a place of love, or you can be doing it from a place of punishment. So it's kind of like, you know, and the exact same food or choice could be one or the other depending on the day. Like I was talking to a client yesterday, and you know, she was after a tough weekend or whatever, and I'd be like, wow, it'd be really lovely, like what would taste good and feel good or whatever. And she was like, stuffed peppers. And I was like, okay. And, you know, that sounds like something that could like benefit from some cheese in it, you know, like most things. Like most things, really. And, you know, so we had a little discussion that, like, if it was the old mindset with the dieting, it would be like, I had a tough week, so punish myself. You know, because I had a tough weekend and I overate, so don't put the cheese in the thing.
Yeah.
Or then it'd be like, if you were loving yourself and taking care of yourself, it'd be like, would the thing taste nicer? Would it feel nicer if you put cheese in it? So it's kind of like, and then a third option would be kind of like, say if you had a whole weekend, say you were in Paris or something, and you had a whole weekend of that dippy cheese and bread and stuff, which is also phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you were also like, cheese coming out of your pores, you were like sick of it or whatever.
Yeah. There's no need. You're saturated.
Then, you know, if you gave, say yet again, I think sometimes it's just so much easier thinking about it like you were feeding a child. If a child was like full to the brim of cheese all weekend, well then maybe putting the cheese in the stuffed peppers is cruelty kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the cheese or any food or any action can be either coming from love or fear. And I think that's what we have to distinguish for ourselves, because I think a big thing of being very committed to overcoming a weight problem and getting to your healthy weight is that realizing that if this decision is coming from fear or punishment, it might seem in the short term like I'm getting further faster or I'm cutting calories or whatever, but you're not. You're not.
I know.
It's going to have a backlash. If it's coming from punishment, there's going to be licking our wounds at another part of the week. Or, you know, if there's controlled eating at one part of the week, there's going to be out of control eating at another part. So that's why it's like love is the consistent right answer. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Just to let you know, I have my course, The Happy Hypno Weight, that's available for €99, and that's all about changing your mindset. It's actually recordings that you can listen to when you're going to bed at night in order to change how your mind works, change your thinking, how it works, and get you set on your goal, where you're going, and the fact that you can get there. So that's available now on happyweight.ie for €99.
Big theme of what you were talking about is just self-kindness and compassion, you know.
Yeah.
And when you've got a heavy inner critic and that's really intense, and the drive for, you know, your brain is wired for perfectionism or punishment.
Yeah.
Really strange for this person to come in and be like, hey, do you ever just be sound to yourself? And you're like, I don't understand. Am I not being sound to myself? Like, you know, there's no differentiation.
100%.
You're just like, this is just how life is. Like, you're just like,
100%.
this is what happens, and this is what I've always known. I know no space for something new. And so, yeah, I just really, you know, God, my heart swells when I think of that, you know, like just I could cry thinking of that space of relentless criticism and punishment to the self, you know, it really, and not knowing that that's what it was. I think that's the saddest thing.
It'd be cool if the whole self-love thing was motivating. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, and no matter who I work with, and I know I was the same, ultimately for a lot of people, the only thing that's motivating is letting go of a weight problem. So it has to be linked to that, otherwise they're not motivated to do it.
I know.
And it's all part of the same thing, because the thing is that if you think of the times, if you're a binge eater or an overeater, where you did the worst eating, where you certainly were not taking care of yourself, or you certainly were feeling uncomfortable and still powered on and ate more junk or whatever. Guaranteed it was not coming from kind voices in your head. So it's kind of like, let's be super surface about it and materialistic and say, don't do it for the sake of self-love. If you want to be your healthy weight or whatever, you know, you're entitled to want to be a healthy weight. There's nothing to be ashamed of with that. You know, part of that will probably mean removing the kind of bingy overeating times. And if we dilute down what happens in those bingy overeating times, they're nearly always us being mean to ourselves. Nearly always.
I can see and feel that direct correlation between the depth of suffering and the level and the equal and opposite intensity in eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a direct correlation between the depth of suffering and how much of a reaction you use to get out of that suffering, and through you know, for everybody it's different. You know, there's different alleviations of suffering, and Gabor Mate really talks about this. He says there's no such thing as addiction. It's just people who are suffering who are looking for ways to self-regulate and reduce suffering. You know, really, like, and so the level, and I always see that, you know, with people like who, you know, I have my own addictive traits, like, and in some ways in all ways it is to try and escape the thing that I don't want to sit with, and that's fair enough. I know when we know better we do better, and it is harmful to ourselves, but even that slight awareness of, hey, this is hard,
I know,
and I'm sorry you're going through this, but you know what might be better is if we meditate or walk or connect with someone or eat something that's maybe just a little to the left, a little to the right, a little more, a little less, whatever that is. Like, I don't know what that looks like for people, but that's the kind voice inside you that says, I see you, I see your suffering, and I'm really sorry. I know it's hard, but just let me help you make a decision that might lessen that.
It'd be really, really helpful to take weight out of it because there's a lot of people who are probably, whoever's listening, your weight, and they're happy out, and they actually don't have negative eating behaviors, and they're happy out. The sad thing with a weight problem is the eating behaviors, because the eating behaviors and the negative self-talk, that affects you daily. Do you know what I mean? That's a 24-hour struggle. Like, as in, some of my clients, you know, they'd be kind of saying, it's just so great to not be thinking about food now all the time, because it was like they were constantly thinking about food. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like when people focus on weight, everything goes bananas. Like, everything just goes a bit wonky, because if you're focusing on weight, you're kind of saying this weight is wrong, which opens the door to just,
I'm wrong.
Yeah. I need to change. Life will be better when I'm changed. And it's kind of like, you know, if we could just leave the weight aside, because no matter what you do, you're not going to change your weight in 24 hours. However, you could have a very nicer day with food today than you did yesterday. That's possible. That's achievable. It's achievable to have less of the symptoms of a eating disorder or weight problem today by having a very nice time for yourself, or having more positive self-talk, or another thing you said there about Gabor Mate and the addiction, like, I think that's so helpful, because I think mindfulness is super helpful as well, because you know, addiction can really be a label, and weight problem can be a label that's heavy, and we stick on ourselves, and it drags us down. Whereas I'm kind of like, and I'm always saying it to clients, like, it's a fun game to sit down to a meal without any baggage. So this isn't about your weight. There's no agenda. This isn't about your past. This isn't about the future. This is about now having a romantic moment with this food, seeing what this food has to offer you. Like, how does it taste? How does it feel? How much of a nice time can you have for it? How lucky can you feel for it being there? How grateful? You know what I mean? Like, as in, we could actually just set aside all our baggage just for this one meal, and have a very, very different meal than maybe we did just last night. You know? And we have the power to do that when you just kind of think about, I'll just play that game for this minute. I might never play it again, but let's just see how it goes. Let's just do a little trial.
I just keep on feeling that sense of like, it's not a weight problem, like, it's a self-love. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually self-care.
100%.
And self-love, like, and it's not...
It's nothing to do with your kilos
yeah, it's
at
not
all.
like you could be whatever weight and
not have a weight problem.
Yeah, exactly. There's no weight problem. It's the association you have with the weight, and that being your value, or making you worthy of being in this world or not. Like, I mean, I feel deeply compelled to just acknowledge that, like, every person listening to this is loved. Do you know? Like, no matter who you are absolutely loved by someone, and more than just someone. You change people's days by being in it. Yeah. And I mean, if that's not enough of a reason to value yourself, what else do you need?
And you deserve to have a really nice day. Like, I know that sounds like, I don't know, does that work for other people? But like, I don't know, I was always at half-mast. Like, I was always like, life will begin once I lose weight. Yeah. And it's kind of like, well, I can't really have a nice day, because I kind of should be giving out to myself for what I ate yesterday. And I kind of should be giving out to myself for the fact that I've put on weight anyway. And it's like, no. You have full permission to feel as amazing as you want today. Full permission. There's no terms and conditions. There's no reason why you should not feel as well as you want to feel today. And like, it is like that whole thing that fat is a feeling, not a size, because I've been thinner than now and felt fatter. And the one thing for sure is that we have to shake off that fat feeling, because yet again, I'm not talking about levels of excess weight, I'm not talking about kilos, BMI, any of that shit. It's a feeling we have in ourselves that's not nice, and we kind of have to give ourselves the permission to not sit with that anymore. And that's why, you know, I'm always on about it on my Instagram, but like, that playing the game of being your ideal weight. You know, because if you were playing that game of, I am my ideal weight today, well, then you couldn't be like, I would be confident, but sure, I can't let myself be confident. I put on a stone in the last month. Like, I can't be confident. It's like, no, you just have to. If you're playing that game, it's like there'd be no holding back. There'd be no kind of like, I can't feel well because of this, if that makes sense. You just couldn't do that anymore. So I'm like, in a really weird way, we can keep playing that game of like, what would it be like to just
Think you're enough.
Yeah, think you're enough. Basically,
Like,
that's actually it.
That is like what's
Never
coming
thought of it
through.
that way, yeah.
Is like, I am enough as I am.
Exactly.
I don't need to change. Like, you know, you don't even need to play that game. Like, you actually are just as you are. Like, that is you being here with your beautiful heart, and your offering is enough.
I think the game helped me because I probably wasn't at a space. You know, it was
too hard.
Yeah, it was probably still the thing that like, but no, I'm not enough.
yeah. It's so far away.
I'm like, you know, a certain size or whatever. So it's like, okay, let's just pretend to be the certain size then, because then you could give yourself the permission to be enough.
Sure, it's like a back door to it.
It is a back door to it. I think it's a useful game. It's a useful game.
And it's interesting because like I trained in the Louise Hay stuff, and so she always likens the, you know, what you're doing there essentially is like positive affirmations, but like in a sneaky way. It's really cool. It's like a sniper positive affirmation situation where you're like, I am this. And so she describes positive affirmations when you do them first and when there's heavy resistance to them. It's like cleaning a turkey pan. All the really heavy gunk is going to come to the surface. Like your heavy, critical inner voice is going to come and say, no, not for 1 minute are you going to think nice things about yourself because of this evidence and this evidence of you being a shitty person and you being bad and you being wrong and you being whatever. And so while you are playing that game, or while you're beginning to believe the thought that I am enough, or, you know, to develop that self-compassion, know that there may be times when those opens more often than not at the beginning, that they will creep in and they will try and steer you back off course. But actually, you are worth cleaning that turkey pan to the very end, you know, to have a nice sparkling new brain mindset, whatever you want to call it, and offer yourself a space that you can live in with compassion and self-love and acceptance and enoughness. And like, it's mad really, like, to think about you're walking around with someone just giving out to you in your head all day, isn't it? It's actually
and I think that's another kind of source of kind of compassion, because if we start listening to our thoughts, it's kind of like, sure, God love me, no wonder I've had a weight problem. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, if anyone was listening to that all day, if like you were doing your job and someone was like all day long, you're terrible at your job, obviously that's going to take root. So it's like, you know, that's kind of handy in a way once you start noticing your negative thoughts, because you're like, that's what caused it. So if they were different, if I could change them, that would also change the outcome. But also with the whole like trying it on for size, the whole like, just like, because what I used to do is like, okay, how would I walk from the kitchen to the sitting room if I was my ideal weight? How would I sit in the couch if I was my ideal weight? How would I walk from the changing rooms in the swimming pool into the pool at my ideal weight? And what you notice is that there is subtle differences, and I have evidence of this from making my clients do it as well, and all the stories they came back with. And like, it's very handy because, you know, even it happens all the time when I'm working with clients. I'm kind of like, okay, so what'll be different, you know, when you're there, when it's just life without a weight problem, what'd be like that? Like, what would that be like? Even one the other day was kind of like, I've never thought about that. You know, I've only ever thought about losing weight.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people do. And you know, then the whole thing is, well, then most people are getting exactly what they want, because they want to keep losing weight. So yeah, you know, they lose a stone, put up a stone, lose a stone, put up a stone and a half. You know, they're technically getting exactly what they've asked for, because they keep losing weight, you know, putting it back on, but keep losing weight. So it's kind of like, no, we need to get to know our persona, and we need to get to know what our life would look like without a weight problem. So we can be really light about that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, let's just play a game of watching this movie sitting on the couch as my ideal weight. You know, it's just like a little game. We can be light about it. But sometimes it can teach stuff, you know, you can learn stuff about yourself. Because even if you're in a group of girls, say, and you're kind of like, okay, cool, how would I be in this group of girls if I was my ideal weight? And you might notice yourself putting your shoulders back more or contributing more to the conversation. Like, there's all these subtle differences, but actually,
it's crazy, isn't it? Like, it's so linked to worth. Like,
it is, because even one of my clients was kind of, when she was doing it, she was like, well, actually, I did notice at some stage over the last few years, whenever you're sitting down, you always put a cushion over your stomach. So it's like, if you were your ideal weight, you would not need to put you know, you would not feel the need to hide your stomach. And yet again, that is not related to what weight you are, because you could be size 12 or size 14 and thinking you need to put a cushion over your belly. Like, it's just lack of confidence. Like, it's silliness, So it's a really fun game to play. And it really makes you clear on kind of what life is actually going to be like and what you're actually working towards. Because I think not having a weight problem is a persona and a way of treating yourself. It's nothing to do with the nutrition. Because any food can make you feel uncomfortable, or, we're all in different bodies. I have no clue what would make you feel uncomfortable this afternoon. Who am I to say that? Do you know what I mean?
And you won't know for yourself. You can't project into tomorrow for yourself even either. It's a moment by moment thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of that question all the time. Would I be doing this if it was my ideal weight? Because it's kind of like, even if we're in the midst of eating multiple share bars, it's like, would I be doing this if it was my ideal weight? It's like, nah, I'd probably just have it with a coffee and for breakfast tomorrow. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Probably just have it tomorrow. But in when we have a weight problem, it's like, I have to be good tomorrow, whatever. So it's really telling. It's a fun game. It's very telling.
My final thoughts are, you're doing your best, and it may not seem like enough, but it is absolutely amazing that you're here, you're listening, you're open, and that's the first step,
And the hypnotist in me wants to say as well that if you keep affirming that, like, I am doing enough, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. Just like I'm not doing enough, or whatever becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and we then sabotage. Yeah. It is great to start noticing what you are doing rather than constantly noticing what you're not doing. Because as long as you notice what you're not doing, it's all you're going to see. Top 5 chocolate bars.
Okay. I didn't have time to prep for this. Different things
you
need different...
What? I feel chocolate items. I'm going to open it up.
Okay. Lindt white chocolate.
Oh, lovely.
In those balls, they're amazing.
Oh, yeah.
They're very good.
They're sexual.
Yeah. That Whisper Gold salted caramel.
I get it. I kind of get it.
You don't have to, but
I get it.
DP.
Yeah.
A golden crisp in a tea.
Are they still available?
I don't know, but you know what? They're very good.
Yeah.
What else do I reach for? I like a good old dark chocolate with salted caramel.
Are you faking that? People say they like dark chocolate, they're faking.
No, I legitimately, it's the only chocolate.
Girls who say they like GA. I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh my god, that's a terrible thing to say. Obviously,
keep that in,
lies.
Jack.
Oh my god, it's like I've lost 90% of the listeners now.
No, I mean, that's all the chocolate I buy really is salted or caramel, salted caramel dark chocolate. I actually adore it. Like, I love it. I just think it gets the right... Okay, I'm going to go into detail about this. I think, like, for me, when I want chocolate, I want the right amount of that dark, intense chocolate vibe.
Nice.
And I find a lot of... And I'm very passionate about this, Aoife, actually. Yeah. Like, I won't... Actually,
I'll have you know, Aoife,
I won't waste time on chocolate that doesn't have a good cocoa butter mass.
Yeah.
A lot of them, and I don't like palm oil or any kind of vegetable oil in this situation as well. It really pisses me off because it ruins the flavour profile of the thing.
Well, I draw the line at pound shop chocolate. Not that I haven't eaten it, but you know the way it's very coats your mouth.
It's just, I don't like that vibe in my... I just don't like it, and I just steer clear. I'm like, well, that's not even enjoyable. I don't even want that. Like,
Can I say mine?
I've one more left.
Oh, you do? Okay, sorry.
I've one more. What is it? I don't know. I like white chocolate in general, so probably a Milky Way Easter egg.
Oh, nice.
There's a difference in the chocolates.
Oh, yeah.
And sorry, one's just 5B. Cadbury's Easter eggs made into Rice Krispie buns.
Smart.
Put on ice cream.
Wow. You're a genius.
It's my mother.
I knew there was a reason.
No, my mother thought of this, and it is just, it's unbelievable. It's like... It's beyond reasoning why it's so delicious. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's so simple. It's
it's like more than the sum of its parts kind of job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, go on.
Okay, Toblerone would have to be up there.
A white Toblerone. Sorry.
Well, that's also there, but I think just from consumption frequency and rate, it would be the normal.
Yeah.
Toblerone. Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah.
The only thing is my ex, he really spoilt me with Ferrero Rocher, genuinely, just like the ad.
You're saturated.
I am. And COVID as well. I actually don't think I like chocolate as much after COVID
You had
because
so much.
so much chocolate eating. And Ben and Jerry's fish food.
It's a good shout.
Has
We've
to
shared
be up
a
there.
tub or two of that.
Yeah, has to be up there. Something with like gooey melty chocolate in the middle, like a kind of slightly microwaved croissant with chocolate pan au chocolat.
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah.
That'd be up there as
Oh,
well.
oh, you've broadened the terms now.
I know.
You did. That happened.
I know.
Oh, like any warm brownie with chocolate sauce. Remember the way I used to whip up
Yes.
those chocolate sauces with just like chocolate, butter, cream.
Yeah.
Just
See, we should just wrap up and go buy chocolate now. Okay.
I'm like, where can we get?
Actually, yeah, we gotta go.
We've somewhere immediate and urgent that has come up.
Okay, thank you so much for listening. Please join me on the next episode and sending you tons of love and support.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you enjoyed this episode and previous episodes, and you'd like to know more about developing this great relationship with food and letting go of excess weight, I've 2 courses right now that are on offer. So you can get the Happy Hypno Weight course and the Love Food Program course for €150. And so that's over €100 off. So just go to happyweight.ie/special offer and go avail of this great deal now. Mwah.